I'm Jonathan Waugh, and I'm a singer-songwriter from Montreal. I was with a beautiful label called Warner Music, and I felt like I wasn't on top of the world, but in my world, I was really happy. It was the most success that I've ever had, and I wasn't happier in my life. It didn't, there were things missing, important things missing, and I had to go find those things. So I sold everything, bought my RV, and I lived in my RV for about 3 years, traveling the states and seeing the world, discovering who I was, and figuring out. I guess you want to call it a spiritual awakening, awareness of oneself, and that's what I was. That's what I was on, and so I did that, and really. I think that's a lot of people. That's what happens. You kind of get lost in what's this weird society that we live in, and the work, make money, and you forget why. I forgot why I was doing all of this and why I was making music and traveling and getting back to just writing and taking some time for myself. Made me realize how much I loved music and got me back to the official reason of why I was doing music for me and for my fans. And so sometimes it's just good to take a moment, and step back, never to be afraid to step back, even though it's so fucking scary because you're afraid of, being broke or being homeless. But there's always a way. You can always figure out a way. And it's always really, really important because this right here is so important. So is this. The rest, it doesn't really matter. Unfortunately, it's just we think it does, but it doesn't. It's just for show. I've never been diagnosed, but I have had moments and months and probably almost a year where I'm a little numb to life, and I am not attracted to do anything, or and it's tough to wake up and do something. But I think that all of this can be solved without taking pills or anything like that. I think you can really motivate yourself and push yourself. I mean, there are extreme cases, but I think for me, it was just to kick myself in the ass a bit and get out there. And music was, and it has always been, my life saving. Always going back to my guitar and writing songs, and that's always helped me cope with the things that have been going around me. And so just writing has helped me through it all. And so diagnosed, no, but I think we've all had these challenging days and challenging months, and you can call it whatever you want, but there are ways to get through it. And for me, it was music. Well, I think that most of us have had some sort of depression. Um, we don't need to necessarily call it depression, but a hard time or a challenging time. But for me, it didn't affect me like what happened to my mother. And what happened to my mother is she went through a very, very intense depression for many years. And that was probably one of the hardest things that I've gone through with with the family and my sister and brother. It's just as difficult for someone you love than for yourself, because you don't know how to deal with that. And every every time it's different. Every situation is different. Everyone is different. So everyone reacts a different way. And there's like no real guidelines to deal with mental illness and how you want to, how to help someone. So I found it very difficult. And I didn't want to give up on her. And I didn't want her to feel like I was giving up on her, but I felt like I needed to give her space, and that she needed to have, she needed to get real help. And that's what she did. And I guess my thing for people is, do the best that you can, give them as much love as possible, listen to them, because that's probably what they want the most, is for them to be heard. Be compassionate, show some compassion, and And when it's time, when it's too much, when it's too heavy for you, you need to get out, because you're going to go and dig yourself a giant hole, and you're going to start, going into it, and it's going to be tough to get out. So know when it's time to kind of get out of the situation and help them in another way, and that's probably professional help. I mean, there are always going to be people that are going to make fun of gay people. There's always going to be people that are going to hate black people. There, I think that we live in a world where people are allowed uh, to judge, and unfortunately, there's what 300. I don't know how many million people. I think it's 300 million people that are diagnosed of mental illness. Obviously, it's there. We don't have to listen to people that tell us that it doesn't exist. Screw them. Live your life, and that's it. There's no, you don't give importance of a stigma. Don't, it's not important. People are allowed to believe what they want. Screw them. That's, you know it, I know it, and the people around you that love you know it, and that's all that's important. My self-care routine. Well, I'm an outdoors guy, so I'm always hiking, a lot of rock climbing. I love rock climbing. Um, music. Um, and I work a lot with my hands, so I'm always doing something on the house, or taking care of the animals. I have a little farm here, so I'm always doing something. My self-care routine is just to keep myself busy and to keep the people that I love close, and I try and keep it as simple as that. I have never. I have never. I've been to low places in my life, but I've never been there. I have had some friends and family members that have been there. It's something that I can't understand. It must be very, very difficult to. I mean, I love this life, very much, and I can never see myself taking my own life. But I understand that some people go to that extreme, and it's a decision that someone sometimes has to take, and I think that we have to find ways to help those people. Um, I'm really pushing on ayahuasca and psychedelics to help people. I think that the ways that we're trying to help people with the medicines that we're giving, I think that it's all wrong. I think there are natural ways to help people that are feeling lost, and that have these really intense thoughts of ending their lives. So, um, and I'm starting to be more and more open about it. But I think that psychedelics and the work that it's too bad, because in the 60s they were doing a huge progress to help mental health with these substances, and I think it's continuing, and they're reopening everything, and I think that that's going to be the future for medicine, to help people like that. I've met with a lot of people um, through ayahuasca experiences that wanted to end their life, and they took ayahuasca, and it changed everything for them. It's not a substance that can also be abused, and that's really important to talk about, because people think, well, you take it once, you're going to be addicted to it. No, it's not that kind of trip. It's a psychological trip, and it's very good for someone to get back on track. I really, really, I think it's not safe for everyone. I think you need to contact a doctor. You need to understand the risks that are with it. But I hope that one day we turn to that kind of medicine. There's a lot of people. If you want to read about it, there are a lot of people that are doing it now, and I think that it's the right road, because like, we haven't changed the way of helping people with mental illnesses for over 50, 60 years. It hasn't changed, it hasn't moved on. It's terrible, and we're giving these terrible things to people. That's numbing people, and we're losing them. There's same thing with sleeping pills. It's terrible on the body and the mind, and um I know that this is the right route, and I just hope that the studies continue um, to be done on these substances to help people in another way. And it's I think I think I was reading up on it a little bit, and I have to do more of my homework on it as well. But I think it's like a 90% you take it, and 90% of people are getting better, if not more. And it's one-time thing. It's a one-time experience, and that lasts for many, many months and sometimes years. And then it's so much better than taking pills every day for years and years and years, which is destroying the body. So I'm really pushing towards psychedelics into helping people for the future. To keep going, and to never to quit. Life is Life seems long, but it is so fucking short, and you have to keep going and find the things that you love. There are things, and someone, I was talking to someone the other day. He goes, "There's nothing that I love." There is. You need to find yourself. You need to go out there and not be afraid of failing. Failing is a beautiful thing, and it brings you to a bunch of roads that you'll finally end up figuring out who you are through those failures and through those experiences. Um, and so is to find that fire, and to not be afraid of going outside of your boundaries, and outside of your comfort zone. And I know it seems easy to say, and I'm not in everybody's head and bodies, but um, give life a chance and go out there and find yourself. Get a backpack, run away, go see the world. It's beautiful, and you will find people that you will be able to connect with. You will be able to find things to love. It takes time. Life is hard, and it's not easy. So just keep going, and things will get better. They will get better.